round by the ABC, the Association of Boxing Council, makes this title fight 6 3-minute rounds, not 7 3-minute rounds. So round 1 of 6. Black trunks for Brandon Birr. Got a little red, looks like a lot of design on the trunks of Lightning Harold McQueen. Birr has showcased his power in his 2 finishes thus far inside the Trigon.
And McQueen showed a lot of speed and a good finishing power in his fight with Caballero as well. A little matchup here, because Birr's not the kind of guy that goes away that easily.
Nope. And in talking to Brandon Birr, Paulie, he was very complimentary of the speed, the skills, the boxing prowess of his opponent, Harold McQueen.
Yeah, and this is where Birr wants to do the work here against McQueen, is get in there and make it rough, so that McQueen can't really be comfortable on the outside, because on the outside, McQueen has that advantage with his boxing ability and his very, very quick hands. See some redness on the right eye of Birr from probably those lightning jabs of McQueen. One thing I noticed at the bell, right before the bell, McQueen went back to his own corner, and he had to be told to come back and step to the center, you know, for the opening bell. He's just so used to the boxing and starting his own corner. Nice moves there by McQueen as well. He goes back to center Trigon.
This fight is at the natural weight of Harold McQueen, trying to establish that long jab.
So McQueen is difficult to deal with here.
Yes.
His hands seem to stay sturdy. He's able to keep throwing those hard lightning shots. And also, he's got a very rhythmic boxing style.
Which means that Brandon Birr can't wait on him.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to make him uncomfortable. You've got to, you know, force the pace. But again, it's not easy to force the pace, because he mixes in little feints and little dips and little level changes that slow down your pressure. Although Birr here coming with the pressure there.
Birr started wrestling at age 6.
Separate. Let go. Let go. Let go.
One thing about Birr, though, I think he's going to make this a character fight, though. He's going to be in it for the long haul. You may be able to outbox him. He may have the advantage in the fight, but he's going to make you keep working for it. And that's where we'll see if McQueen is there for the long haul as well, because I was surprised at how easily he was able to dispose of Caballero, a guy who's used to being, we're used to seeing was pretty sturdy and a good fighter.
Did that in round number 2. Both stoppages, both victories for Birr have been in the second. Big swing and a miss from Slaughterhouse. Round 1 of a scheduled 6 coming to conclusion.
Yeah, although it's a round for McQueen, Birr gets what he wants at the end of it, in that at least you get that little trench warfare. You want to start, because a guy like McQueen is a slick boxer. He gets uncomfortable. You make them uncomfortable fighting where they don't want to fight. Doesn't mean they can't fight there, but they prefer not to fight there. So McQueen, you know, he's got a toughness. He can fight on the inside, but he'd rather fight on the outside. So if you force the fight where he would prefer, start to psychologically maybe get to him a little bit. See some of that action from that round. Nice combination there from McQueen. You see Birr making the key mistake they tell you never to make in boxing, going straight back.
Yes.
Going straight back there, and of course McQueen's quick feet were able to follow him all the way through and land some extra punches in that salvo.
Brandon Birr said you've got to focus on the fight. You got to focus on Harold McQueen. But when he takes a half a step back, he realizes how special this opportunity is for both men to become the very first, the inaugural BYB Featherweight World Champion. Round number 2. Red trunks for Harold McQueen, black trunks for Brandon Birr. Working with his boxing coach, Alex Cooper, out of the Strong Style Gym. His teammate, Chad Kelly, a victor to start our night. And of course, when you talk about Strong Style, and you talk about Cleveland, Ohio, Stipe Miocic, John Jones, November 11th at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden.
Oof. Big fight, that one.
How good is that? Right hand by Birr. With the power possessed by Brandon Birr, he knows he's never really out of a fight. Trying to find his range.
You see how the the awkwardness of McQueen and the athleticism of McQueen is he can change angles. You see, he gives him that angle. He gives a little spin around.
Yep.
And that can make it frustrating for Birr because, again, now you got to start all over again on the outside, where you can't really see, and you got to start all over again against this guy with quick feet and a good jab and good angles. You work so hard to get inside, and then you get put right back on the outside. It can be frustrating, and it takes a lot of mental strength on the part of Birr to keep consistent with this.
Harold gives a lot of credit, the influence of his older brother getting him started. Huge fan of Andre Ward, and he just took a body shot from Brandon Birr.
Who returned, but then McQueen returns fire there with the right hand, backs him off. You see Birr again. This is again another psychological game. You got to do it though. You got to do it. You got to show that you're so strong. You got to get anything you can. You know, but McQueen, it's not going to bother McQueen, but at least you got to make the attempt.
Years ago in Pride, when Rampage picked a guy up like that, you threw him down pretty down hard. Good jab again by McQueen.
You see again the different looks. Look at him. He gives level changes. He touches. He feints. You see, he gives you a different look on that. It's tough to keep up with because again he's got so much speed that he can fire off of all those looks, and that's what makes a guy dangerous. When he can give you these looks is one thing, but he can also fire off of all the looks. So you've got to constantly be aware, no matter what looks he's giving you.
And Paulie, he said he wants to showcase his skills a little more tonight, but he just felt the power of his opponent, Brandon Birr.
And that's the stubbornness of Birr, and that's what I mean about it. You got the longer you can keep this in for the long haul, which Birr is battle tested. Maybe you can kind of bring McQueen little by little into a trench where he might not want to be, or maybe he may not be as comfortable being in there.
Brandon Birr said this means everything. To be the first champion inside the Trigon at featherweight. Good finish to this round.
Another McQueen round, but at least Birr has something to take back to the corner with him to maybe possibly give himself some confidence coming into the next round, which I think is the third one.
Let that motherfucker go, okay? Slow down.
See the action there. This was the right hand that Birr landed towards the end of the round. Birr had a little bit more success at the end of the round. That was a good right hand on his part as McQueen was up against the ropes. If he can land a little bit more consistently, let's see if the body language of McQueen starts to change, or if maybe it impacts his ability to make certain decisions, which he was making so fluidly before, and we're making him dominant, you know? You make a guy second guess his natural ability, because McQueen fights a lot on natural ability. Maybe you can start to turn the fight around, but it's very important here for Birr to get off on the right side in round 3, because I think McQueen may come out and try to take back the advantage.
And Brandon Birr's always said constant pressure is one of his biggest strengths. And he wants to put that pressure on Harold McQueen in the red trunks, Brandon Birr in the black trunks. ABC had their convention just last week, the Association of Boxing Council. Some rule changes, including all championship fights are now a maximum of 6 rounds. So 6 by 3 for the men like tonight. And when we see Patty Juarez and Monica Medina in Biloxi, it'll be 6 2-minute rounds.
Watch back of the head.
Birr told us he brought in a very good boxer into the camp, a South American champion, fast hands, fast movement. Let's see if he can showcase some of the things that he learned in training in the Strong Style gym in Cleveland. Round 3, title fight scheduled for 6.
I'm noticing Birr keeps getting hit with that combination. It's that right hand lead and then the jab. It's a 2-1 instead of the 1-2. You see how McQueen is starting to finish the combination with a strong jab, and he uses the initial right hand as a deceptive punch, get a little closer, and then it's like a shotgun jab. And Birr ends up going straight back on the initial deceptive punch, so that way he ends up being in the path of the shotgun jab when McQueen uses it to get close. He looked for it there. He threw the right hand there, but he wasn't able to get off the shotgun jab. But again, Birr is going straight back, and he's got to kind of slide to the left or right and try to counter from there. Instead, he goes straight back, and he's going to keep paying the price if he does that, as McQueen, again, using that shotgun jab as the second shot of the combination.
Body shots from close range from Birr. It's cut now.
Yeah, oh, he's been cut. He's got a lot of the swelling starting to come up.
Brandon Birr had him working in the clinch, dirty boxing, kind of stepped out, and McQueen landed a punch. 45 seconds, round number 3. McQueen 8-1 in his amateur boxing career, was ranked number 5 as an amateur at one time. His only loss was on that path for a national championship back in 2016.
McQueen now turning southpaw. And now use the left cross there to turn back to the right-handed stance.
Cut right in the middle of the forehead of Brandon Birr, one of a few. This fight has been a McQueen 101 fight so far, Paulie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll go as far as to say McQueen might be the most skilled boxer in BYB. I mean, he's showing a lot of the repertoire. I mean, this is, and it's combined with his speed as well. He shows there's a lot of deception there in his style, but also his speed combined with comes together very well. You know, he hasn't been tested quite yet at a high level because he's pretty much dominated the two guys we've seen him. But I'm going to say right now, Caballero was known as a difficult opponent, and he blew him away.
Yeah.
And Birr's known as a difficult opponent, and he's making this look easy right now. That was a good shot there by Birr.
So we got to show it now, okay? I need 3 minutes of one prepare right now. Take those body shots.
McQueen seemed unfazed
Yeah, and you see
by those
McQueen,
body shots.
McQueen making the defensive move, slides, pivoting, and then dipping underneath that hook. Even if you land something in the midst of the exchange or in the midst of the combination, he's not going to let it put him out of position. A lot of times you land a big shot on somebody, it puts them out of position, and they can be hit with a follow-up. McQueen is the kind of guy, even if you hit him, he doesn't let himself get put out of position. So even the follow-up to that initial shot, unless it hurts him, which we haven't seen him hurt, he's still able to slip and slide and pivot and roll out of the way, and actually sometimes even set you up for the counters on top of that.
Doctor takes a look at the cut on the bridge of the nose. Brandon Birr says he's good to go, and our championship fight continues. First of 4 belts on the line here tonight.
You see what McQueen did there. When Birr rushed him, he held his ground and punched, as opposed to when McQueen rushes Birr, Birr goes straight back. You saw the difference there in the difference. See right there, Birr goes straight back when McQueen comes at him.
McQueen said that Brandon Birr, while he respects him as a fighter, he's not a striker for real. And what Brandon Birr said is he needs to focus on getting inside, working his clinch game, dirty boxing, which he has not been able to do so thus far. Mike Goldberg, the former 2-time world champion, the Magic Man, my powerful partner, Paulie Malignaggi, coming to you from the Charles F. Dodge City Center in the Pines in South Florida.
Birr landing a couple of jabs there in those exchanges and managed to get himself close.
This fight for the Featherweight World Championship. Police Gazette Diamond belt fight still to come. The GOAT is back against Sam Liera. That punch hurt him.
And in the very least,
there's that power.
In the very least, Birr's going to remain viable. And he's going to remain there. He's going to make your life hard, even if you're going to beat him.
Said earlier, Paulie, he always says with his power, he's one punch away from either finishing or turning things around. And that punch got the attention.
Something wound up on the desk of our Spanish broadcast. I don't know if it's a mouthpiece or a tooth. Somebody lost something. Looks like the corner of McQueen. McQueen may have lost a mouthpiece with that shot. And some of Birr's pressure may finally be getting through a little bit.
Well, he definitely has gotten the shot that has changed the mindset a little bit of his opponent, Harold McQueen. He now knows he is truly in a fight. And again, just skimmed by with that left hand. So it was the mouthpiece of Harold McQueen.
No, let's go. Come here.
Bobby Wambacher puts it right back in, gets him right back into the action. So you want to be a bare knuckle boxing commentator, watch out for flying mouthpieces.
And flying blood.
Yep. Best round of the fight for Brandon Birr.
Yeah, he's managed to get a little closer in this round and managed to make it count a little bit. Got some blood stains here. We got.
Oh yeah. That's why we go Johnny Cash on these shows.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the round's up. We got to get to him. You see him faded, but we're just not throwing enough.
So that round.
Throw that right hand, left hook, right hand. Don't throw it. And I don't want you right to press the add on here.
So round 5 scheduled for 6. The ABC rules that were just sanctioned follow in form of the Police Gazette rules that have been used for the past several years. The leader of the Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame, our friend Scott Burt, Belfast, New York, one of the members of the committee to vote on the change to limit championship fights for the men to a total of 18 minutes. Black trunks for Brandon Birr, red trunks for Harold McQueen. Birr landed with his power in the last round. Let's see if he can do it again.
I think there's maybe an open hand.
Open hand, yeah. Brandon's saying how many times?
Yeah, and that's sometimes a habit of a boxer when you try to use that probing shot. You don't always close your hand. Of course, in here it's a bit more dangerous because you can poke the eyes out.
Absolutely.
Birr has a legitimate beef.
Birr with a lot of pressure now. Uppercut. McQueen's in the corner.
Birr's starting to get a little closer now.
Yep. Oh, nasty. Nice job. Got that clinch working, pulled the head down, and threw the punch up.
And that's what Birr wants to do. Birr wants to be close so he can take effect with that little hook there by McQueen. McQueen is going to keep trying to be creative on the outside. But one thing I'm so noticing, McQueen is a little less active on the outside. And I'll tell you what, I fought bare knuckle once. When you fight with that kind of speed and you're ripping jabs off the face of your opponent, your hand starts to really hurt. I'm not going to say it's McQueen's jabbing less because his hand's hurting, but I'm telling you, when you throw those speed jabs consistently, your hands start to hurt and you start to throw less of them.
May lead to the open hand, though, Paulie, much to your point.
Exactly, it's there too. And the problem I had was I broke the other hand, so I only had one hand, and the one I was using with the jab was starting to hurt more and more. And I think now Birr's starting to find a home for that little tie clinch. He's still not able to land that uppercut quite cleanly, but you see that mouthpiece keeps coming out from the mouth of McQueen. Why is that? He's getting a little tired. He's keeping his mouth open, getting a little bit winded. He's breathing with his mouth open, and the shots are knocking the mouthpiece out of his mouth. He's going to risk getting a point taken out of it to keep coming out.
And as our Pro Box TV partner Chris Algieri would say, you can't get your mouthpiece at Modell's.
Nah, yeah. Not in this kind of thing. Not if you want to keep your teeth.
Not if you can find a Modell still. Brandon Birr, big round 4, pouring it on. In tight here in round 5. Slaughterhouse picking up the pace. We got ourselves a fight.
Time out! Time out! Over there.
Oh, this could be a big point. If he loses a point.
I warned you enough. Take a point. Wait right there for me. You okay? Good? All right, give me 1 second.
Okay, let's see.
Come here.
This could be a big point here.
I can't keep warning you. I cannot keep warning you.
Open hand.
1 point. Eye poke.
Yeah. This could come really into play now.
Yes.
Remember, there's a championship fight, so this is 6 rounds.
And there's been no knockdown, so we haven't seen a 10-8.
And McQueen was pretty comfortably ahead in the first 3, but the 4th was pretty competitive. They could have went to Birr. And now 5 is going to Birr by 2 points. Might have an even fight going into round 6 here, Goldie. Right, this was
what it's all about.
This was a definitive Birr round. I mean,
yeah, as I believe last one was too.
Yeah, this would be 10-8. I think 4 was a little closer, but because a lot of times the judges will give it to the other guy because the other wasn't as dominant. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if it could have went either way, you're automatically, psychologically, you're gonna just give it to the other guy. And I think if that's the case, I mean, we might have an even fight here, and then it might be all to fight for in round 6.
3 minutes remain. We will find out who is the inaugural BYB Featherweight World Champion, unless with the 10-8 in math. Well, I'm not even going to say it.
No, but with the 10-8 now, it's going to eliminate, even if you're tied 3 rounds apiece, it's going to eliminate the draw, because now the 10-8 would make it, if it's tied in rounds, it would make an advantage Birr, you know? So for McQueen to win this fight, he either needs to knock down himself, or he's got to win this round. He's got to win them 4-2 in rounds, and he win by a point because of the 10-8 round that he lost.
And Birr making the sign that the strap is going to be his. 6th and final round.
Yeah, you got to credit Birr here. He's fought himself back into this fight.
And it was one power shot that kind of changed everything.
Yeah.
And we don't know the condition of the hands of Harold McQueen, much to your point, Paulie.
Yeah, he's been a lot less active, and it's made Birr. See, Birr has nothing coming back at him now, so he's getting even more and more aggressive.
Weathered the boxing storm, and now he is making this a brawl.
Yeah, and notice even when McQueen makes Birr miss, he's not a lot of counterpunching there. So again, that you're doubting your own hands because they may be hurting you. And if you got nothing that make you doubt coming forward, you're gonna keep throwing. What's the worst that happens? You just miss.
McQueen is tough.
Oh,
and another one.
Time out.
There it is again. That could be tough.
That's not me, that's you.
Yeah.
Time.
I've seen way too many of these in the last 25 years.
And that would happen in the UFC. What's the guy named lost his eye, right?
Yeah, yep, Michael Bisping. Yep.
Yeah, and it's also a fatigue factor. When you're in fatigue mode, you're an automatic pilot. And a lot of times in boxing, you'll kind of keep that hand open and probe it. And it's getting to the point now where this may end up costing McQueen the fight here.
Those fingers aren't a factor with gloves on. With boxing gloves on, not MMA, of course.
Exactly. So now, you know, I mean, you gotta abide by that rule. And of course, in the heat of battle, that eye poke can really come into play. Who knows if Birr can even go on? Let's see. Because at this point, you're fighting in a must-win round.
Yes.
If you're Birr, do you take a chance and keep fighting, or you say you can't see? Because if you're not 100% yourself here and you got to fight the rest of the round, then you got to win. And now you got to try to win a round where you may not be able to see that well, and it may cost you the round, and then you lose the fight. Or if you say, hey, man, I can't see well, they stop the fight here, and, you know, you may win the fight, especially if McQueen's about to lose another point.
Or you just do what Sam Liera does.
Yeah.
Or did against LT.
Yeah, of course.
That was crazy.
Michael Bisping does, right?
Yep.
Obviously, he kept fighting.
He did for a long time. Jason Perillo changed the entire style of Michael Bisping after the significant damage to his eye during his active MMA days. Up to 5 minutes to attend to Brandon Birr, the doctors taking a look at the eye. Oh, yep.
Yeah.
And that hand was wide open, Paulie. And Birr said it had happened earlier, and you see multiple eye pokes.
Oh, yeah.
That Brandon was talking about.
Yeah.
And from that super slow-mo, nice job in the truck, guys.
Yeah.
You can clearly see, here's another one. Oh, yep, 2 fingers that time. Well, we are in the 6th and final round. So we would go to the scorecards, and it doesn't seem like any type of disqualification is happening. But can he continue? Or will it come down to a potential technical decision? Knowing Brandon Birr, he wants to continue to fight. But fighter safety is paramount, always #1, and they're going to stop it. The doctor is going to stop the fight. Multiple eye pokes, a point deducted from Harold McQueen. And an eye poke finishes this fight, unfortunately, due to an eye injury that was too significant for Brandon Birr to overcome and continue to fight for the belt.
So what happens? Is it accidental? Does it go to the scorecards? Is it DQ? How does it get scored now?
I would have assumed that the DQ might have come much earlier if they were going to do it, because why look at the eye of Brandon Birr and see if he wants to continue to fight, right, Paulie?
Yeah, good point. Good point.
So we're deep enough into it that it's in the hands of the judges. There was the point deducted, and you can, just from hearing Harold McQueen will be back, stuff happens. I think he has a feeling that Slaughterhouse is going to be the one with the strap.
Yeah, the point deductions may have sealed it.
Yes.
Especially if there's one. I don't know if there's one here. I don't know if you score this last round. I don't know if the points, because that could come into really could be a key factor in the final scoring of the fight. Because I had this fight even going into the last round, but you know, the last round is key. Would be key on my score.
Ladies
We're gonna find out right now.
Referee Walker calls a stop to this contest at 55 seconds of the 6th and final round. Declaring your winner by disqualification, a stoppage, and the new BYB Featherweight Champion of the World, Brandon Slaughterhouse Birr.
Brandon Slaughterhouse Birr makes BYB history.